There may be trouble ahead, but while there's Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, Binance, let's wait for dips and advance. Would you like to learn why I believe we are in for a make or break moment for the crypto market in the short to mid term? Would you also like to know what cryptocurrency have I added to my bear market hit list? If you're excited to learn what this is and also to be able to ask me questions live, then you've come to the right place. My name is the Suppoman, your superhero of 100x altcoins. The purpose of me being on YouTube is to help you find the best long-term investments. Now, we are in a period of a bear market, a potentially incredibly harsh bear market, thus giving the opportunity to get into fantastic, elite, fundamentally impeccable cryptocurrencies at an unbelievable, unprecedented low and be able to make future fortunes in multi-cycles. So, if you love what you hear, make sure you smash a like on this video, subscribe to the Suppoman, and hit the bell notification so that you know when the Suppo is live then and there, because you can always ask me questions live then and there. So, if you could do me a quite literal immediate solid and smash that like button, it didn't actually animate. There it is, it's animated, it went yee. So if you could quite literally smash that, that would be amazing, while I, at this very present time, share this over to the people of Twitter, and it is done. Right, okay, so Bitcoin has moved down even more. It is now teetering towards the 23k zone. Ethereum has actually not gone down a huge amount. It's only gone down $30 in the last few days. Now, I think the strength of that is purely on the fact it's going to have a triple halving in one day, and people are exceedingly excited about it. So it's very, very difficult to depose Ethereum at the moment. However, I do foresee that Ethereum is going to have a slump, but that at the same time is going to shoot because of the fact it is essentially going to be cancelling out 90% of its new token issuance in just over a month. Or just under, actually it's just under a month. So, people, let me just make sure that you can hear me and everything. I may have just shared a stream where I'm silent. No, yes, you can hear me. Fantastic. Right, okay. So bear with me. Let me just make sure that you guys are coming in the house. So I'll say hello to you first and foremost. So Ronnie, Moend, Her, Lindsay, QWERTY, Crypto Warp, Richie, USA Local SEO, Bud, Paresh, Satya, Chris, Lindsay Clark, Croate, Glinbert, Kiran, Jack, Embata Virus, Patrick Stock, King, Leonidas, Rami T, Monsad, Mohammed, Habib. Thank you very much for the super chat, Mohammed. I really, really appreciate that. Rahul, Sage, Boop, Marikiri, Hello Angel Girl, Ayo Angel Girl. Right, let's start off with the most brutal information. Jamie Dimon of JP Morgan has warned something worse than a recession is coming. Now, you know my thoughts. I believe we are headed towards recession. Despite what Biden and the US government say, I think we are inevitably going to go into recession, and not just a recession, but I think a very, very bleak and harsh recession. So let's see what Jamie Dimon has to say. So, Chief Executive Jamie Dimon sees only a 10% chance of an economic slowdown that doesn't lead to recession. So he sees there's only a 10% chance we don't hit recession, while ominously warning there are 20 to 30% odds of something worse. He said on a client call that the US economy is still in strong shape. However, there are storm clouds ahead, and he thinks that a hard recession is very, very likely. A hard recession is very, very likely due to quantitative tightening, etc., etc. Yesterday, the Fed minutes came out, and this is why I believe that the market has been reacting very, very negatively. Because Fed officials signal restrictive rates may be needed for some time. Okay, so meetings from the meeting in July, where they raised the percentage points, signaled policymakers were intent on pressing ahead with tightening monetary policy. All right, now let's just see something here. And also in conjunction with this, the UK inflation rate has risen to 10.1. So we had the US going from 9.1 to 8.5 in the latest CPI reports. However, there is no Fed meeting this month. So with UK rising and China economic collapse very much on the cards, then we have got a very, very tentative situation right here. And I'm going to be showing you in the graphs very, very shortly why I think we're in a make or break scenario. In the UK, a 50-year mortgage has just been granted by the UK government. So the UK government are allowing for a 50-year mortgage because they think that the housing market is that desperate. It is soon to crash. And there is this initiative to offer people the opportunity to be able to buy a house over a longer period of time, therefore spend less money. It's an initiative which I think is going to actually lead to if anybody takes this, I think they're going to be in very, very deep waters. But this is a sign of the times. Now, something that I think has been overlooked is the, what's it called? The PCE. The PCE. There's so many blowing acronyms right now, I'm getting confused. So the CPI is typically the information, the CPI figures is typically the information that comes out a week or 2 weeks before the actual Fed meeting. All right. And typically the CPI report is a precursor to how much the US government or the Fed are going to be increasing the Fed funds rate. But the actual figure that the Fed follows is the PCE. All right, and I'm going to show you more about that in a minute. But basically, the PCE stands for the Personal Consumption Expeditious Price Index. And it has grown. After 2 months of non-growth, it has actually spiked as of the month of June. All right, and this is what the Fed actually looks at when they are going to be deciding what Fed funds rate to raise they're going to raise it to. And this information is going to be coming out in literally a week's time. On the 26th of August, they are going to be releasing the latest PCE report. But the current report is showing that essentially costs are skyrocketing. Food and energy, employment costs are going up. And it is signaling, it's actually marrying up very, very nicely with this, which is that it's very, very likely that the interest rates or restrictive rates are going to be needed for some time, and also marrying up with the fact that something worse than a recession is coming. But either way, we're not going to be, I think so very unlikely we're going to be avoiding a recession. So, what is the PCE? All right, so the PCE essentially has better data than the CPI. Okay, so what it says here is that it includes more comprehensive coverage of goods and services, and it can be revised more extensively than the CPI, which can only be adjusted for seasonal factors and only for the previous 5 years. So what we can see here is it was 6.6 on the month of quantitative tightening in March this year, then 6.3, 6.3, then 6.8. And now the next release is coming on August the 26th. This, I think, is coinciding with a September crash. So I think that we are very, very likely to see an increase. We're very, very likely to see it go up. Employment costs to go up, food costs to go up, commodity costs to go up. So I think that we are going to see a pretty bad September. All right? We don't need to go into this. All right? But what we can see is that the momentum is very much on the up as far as the PCE rate is concerned. Then we have had this news, which is South Korea to block 16 unregistered foreign crypto exchanges. So they are banning crypto exchanges. This is giving me flashbacks to September 2017, where we saw 4 Chinese exchanges essentially getting shut down. All right, and then we had a South Korea ban in September 2017. So what we see here is that we have seen actually popular exchanges. So MEXC, Qcoin, Poloniex, Femex are amongst the exchanges that have been blocked from South Korea. So essentially, these already offer services to South Korea for people to buy cryptocurrencies, and they are removing them. So that is pretty crushing. Now, in conjunction with the ETH merge, CME Group, who were the guys who offered futures for Bitcoin, and we saw from the point they offered futures for Bitcoin that Bitcoin went down. So if you remember, if you've been around for a long time in cryptocurrency, then CME Group were adding a Bitcoin futures back in October. So they actually announced they were adding Bitcoin futures back in October 2017. The price rallied from 5k all the way up to 20k. And then the day that CME actually opened up Bitcoin futures, the price tanked from 20k to 16k and subsequently to 6k. So CME Group are now adding Ethereum options ahead of the Ethereum merge. The derivatives exchange wants to give its clients more ways to bet on the price of ETH as its network heads to a long-awaited upgrade. This is one of the most transformative events in all of cryptocurrency history. I do not want to downplay the significance of this event. Bitcoin has gone through 3 halvenings since its inception. 2012, 2016, 2020. So there we are. So we've got 3 halvening events that have happened in Bitcoin's history that have incrementally increased Bitcoin's value, its store of value potential, and its appreciation in price. Because every time that inflation of Bitcoin is slowed down, then it allows for demand to over-exceed supply. Now, what Ethereum are doing is they are having essentially all 3 of Bitcoin's halvings on the same day. They are reducing issuance into a deflationary mechanism. And therefore, what we are likely to see on the 15th of September is we actually are likely to see the highest ever supply of Ethereum reached. Because from that point, it should be deflationary. From that point on, even though it's got an uncapped supply, even though it's a non-fixed supply, it's very, very likely that we are seeing the top of Ethereum supply at that point. And it's going to reduce from that point. And we are undoubtedly going to be seeing that demand overtake supply. I think Ethereum's going to crush it. But at what point is it going to crush it? Is it going to crush it immediately, or is it going to crush it? Is it going to crush it once it's been crushed already and institutions have a real, huge, significant bite of the Ethereum apple? All right. Now, at this present time, at near $2,000, if institutions had an apple in their hand, they'd basically be taking a quite minor bite out of it because it's only 2x down from its all-time high. Right? So I personally believe that they are going to look to bring it right down, be able to own a lot of it, do a micro strategy essentially on Ethereum, be able to own tons of it, be able to offer Ethereum-based products in the future to their clients, etc. Like with what BlackRock have done with Coinbase and with Bitcoin. They're offering a Bitcoin trust to enable their clients to be able to buy the Bitcoin via them. I think that this CME Group adding Ethereum futures essentially ahead of the Ethereum merge is a way of manipulating the price, bringing the price down, and for us to be able to grab it, potentially a fantastic price, but ultimately to give institutions a fantastic bite of the cherry before Ethereum does its trajectory up. We've talked about the Bitcoin. We've talked about the Bitcoin halving that's happening in 2024 as being the potential precursor to recovery to all-time highs for Bitcoin and the crypto market. But Ethereum, this is so significant. This is literally so significant. It's as significant as the Bitcoin halving, to be fair. This is the change in Ethereum's whole history that I think is going to actually make it the #1 cryptocurrency. This is it. This is what's going to make it happen. And I think that this is going to be a chance to get on the rocket ship. So, how are we in make or break territory when it comes to Bitcoin? Because ultimately, this is what's going to drive the potential crash of September and the prices being fantastic DCA opportunities. Let me just put the price up so you can see it in real time. So what we have got right now is we have got Bitcoin traveling up this compression wedge, this upwards compression wedge, which is typically a continuation of the downside. Okay, so if you look at this this previous bear flag, it's downward motion, channel, but it's a continuation. It's a bearish continuation and it goes down. So this is this has the exact same similar attributes. It's a continuation wedge, all right? In a falling market, a rising wedge typically means it is going to go down like the clappers. Now, what are the likely reasons for that? So we've got this Mt. Gox sell-off. Now, there's uncertainty as to how much is actually going to be available to be sold off. Some are saying the whole lot is going to be made available for those who held Mt. Gox Bitcoin. They bought it at $300. They essentially are going to get it at a price of probably about $23,000, which is a 76x on when they bought it. Now, let's face it. If you were one of those guys who bought Mt. Gox, thought you'd lost it, didn't think you'd have it again, you'd have massive PTSD, I think, because you've already felt the distress of losing it. You've already thought it's lost, okay? I'm never going to get it back. So when you get it back, would you hold on to it? Be honest with yourself. Would you hold on to it if you got it back having thought you'd lost it? All right? Because personally speaking, I would want to sell it. Because I would think, I don't want to lose it again. I'd have massive PTSD and massive mental issues as a result of what had happened. Be forever scarred by it psychologically. So I would want to sell it. So therefore, I do think that Mt. Gox is going to lead to a sell-off, whether it's 100% of what's released, or whether it's 20% of what's released, which is what I've also heard. So it will actually be around about $30,000 worth of Bitcoin that is potential to be sold off at the end of August. End of August. Then we have got the PCE figures, which is going to be released on the 26th of August. This has got a very high likelihood, based on the momentum of where PCE has been going, it's got a very high likelihood of the momentum of it going up a bit more. And given the doom merchants in the financial sector that think that we are going to be seeing a much murkier financial environment and economy than just a mere recession or just missing a recession, then I think that we are very likely to be seeing negative PCE figures. Then we got CPI figures coming on the 13th of September, and then ultimately the FOMC meeting. So we could have a down. We could have a down. All right? This is a continuation wedge. There's a very, very strong likelihood it's going to continue to the downside. Okay? So if we have this kind of motion going on, it's very likely. Yeah, it's very likely. We could have, who knows what could happen. So we could have the CPI, so we could have the PCE and the Mt. Gox sell-off causing it to go down. CPI figures making people think oh, the Fed aren't going to be so bad. Then they are bad, and then bang, goes down to here. And then we make up for the stimulus, with the stimulus and the midterms coming up, and we have a potential to go up from that point. This is a very likely scenario, I feel. This is what I think is most likely to happen. But again, one cannot say this is going to happen because you need data. You can't just predict something's going to happen. I mean, that's just not how it works. Okay, you need some form of basis to be able to make that presumption. All right, but just based on essentially it seems like from the last CPI meeting and the last Fed funds rate, it seems like people kind of got a bit complacent. They got a bit bullish. People were thinking that there was a road to recovery. Maybe we are going to avoid a recession. And then all of a sudden, we've got China's economic collapse. It's looming. We have got the UK inflation soaring. We've got the housing market plummeting. We have got the luxury market plummeting. So actually, everything around the Fed is very, very bearish. So I personally think that, as people call it, the CP lie. The CPI figures are essentially a lie to you to bring confidence that doesn't actually exist, and that inflation is actually way higher than it really has been purported to be. So I do think we're being set up for a fall, a rise, and then come the end of the year, then I think kablamo. That's what I personally think. I think there's going to be two bites of the cherry. And I think that next year, if not further on from next year, we could be seeing a quite big bottoming event, a lull for a long time. All right, so that is the situation as it presently stands. We had this come in, which I shared, and has subsequently proven to be fake. So from Crypto Whale, he actually put this screenshot of the SEC issuing a cease and desist order against Tether Bitfinex, right? Or iFinex, either way. And with the reasons of Tether was artificially manipulating the price of Bitcoin. Now, this has been shared ad nauseum. It wasn't just me who fell for it. It was other people. I did very quickly go straight to the SEC website, and there was no such filing, so I thought it was fake. But this has been making waves, so it is fake by the sounds of it. What can I move on to next before telling you about what I'm gonna? All right, before I do that, let's see what you guys are saying. I want to see what the word is on the street from you guys, and see if you think what you think about the market, and if you think that it's all doom and gloom, or if you think that we're on a recovery. You know, you guys are very much a barometer for me. Now, we've got 431 people in the house, but we've only got 139 likes. So if you could, just to remind you, because I watch videos, I love watching videos, and sometimes I don't bother to press the like button, I'm just so engrossed. So if you could just take literally a second to just make a slight effort, smash that like button, I would be very, very happy. Right, let's have a look and see, because it tells me to come online and that you guys love to hear from me and hear about, you know, what is the word on the street, what is the likely momentum that we are facing, you know, the turbulence we are facing. If we're in a crypto plane towards our destination of the moon, probably more a rocket, but the rockets really experience turbulence. So a plane, what is the nature of the skies above us? So let's have a look and see what you guys are saying. So Mohammed, you sent me a super chat. Did you have a question, Mohammed? Because I can't see it. Eva Teresa is in the house. Mango is in the house. Rami T is in the house. I love to see the familiar faces. It makes me feel like we are all one. Recession is coming in Q1 2023. What do you think? I think that is really the sweet spot. I think that is the... I think that's a very, very high likelihood of that. Simply because of anything that is positive. So the stimulus that's meant to be coming out latter part of this year, and the midterm elections where the government are going to... I mean, look at what Biden's been doing. He's been saying, oh, we're going to avoid a recession. It's bullshit, right? So he's quite clearly trying to give a positive interpretation of events and say that things are fine and things are good and the economy's fine and jobs are up and all this crap. And so this ability to make the market look fine and dandy and glistening is going to end as soon as the midterms are over, because there's no impetus, there's no motivation to make things look good at that point, after that point. So I therefore think that Q1 signals that we are going to be probably hitting the hardest at that point, or amongst the hardest at that point. So that's what I think. Superman, if someone had a gun to your head, what micro coin would you pick? Micro cap coin. I'll get back to you on that one. I'll make sure I answer that before the end. Julian Tapia, good to see you. Charles, hey Suppoman, Max here from South Mississippi. Nice. George Flanick, Superman, best on YouTube. Thank you very much. Lisa Canova, NYSE, it's New York Stock Exchange, always down September, October. Right now, crypto's following the same pattern. Yeah, agree. US election in November, how dry powder to buy, late fall to end of year. Yeah, I mean, that's what I personally think. And I put this on Twitter, which I don't think was a very popular thing to put, to be fair. So let me just find that. I did have it actually ready to go, but I must have deleted it or something. So yeah, so what I said, literally, I think it was yesterday or the day before yesterday, is that September could be a great pivot month for crypto. So what I believe is that there's going to be a crash out either way. I think there's going to be a crash. We're already leading towards that crash. The landscape's being set up for the crash. You know, it's like you're preparing the cannon to shoot. Cannon, is that really a good word? A good rocket. Preparing a rocket to shoot at its target and then and to come early September is very likely it's going to happen. And then what we could have is we could have the pivot happening from the government, which is something that I've been maintaining. So people are like, "Oh, Superman, you're changing your mind. Why are you changing your mind?" No, it's not. That's what I've been saying the whole bloody time. So there could be an opportunity early September, based on the PCE and the the PCE and the Mount Gox, that we could be seeing crypto go down. Could be seeing the S&P 500 going down anyway, because as you say, Lisa, New York Stock Exchange normally trends down in September, particularly the beginning of September. So with the S&P 500 going down, it could lead to a kind of triple reasoning why Bitcoin goes down. And therefore, we could see new bottoms. Therefore, we could be seeing a brilliant opportunity to DCA. Now, worst case scenario is that we lose from that point, but if you DCA at lows, that is the time to get in. So I wouldn't be DCAing until we saw a low prices across the board for Bitcoin and altcoins, and hopefully Ethereum. So, and then what could happen is we could see one of two things. We could see the CPI numbers saying something different to the PCE report. So the PCE report is what the Fed actually looks at to decide on the Fed funds rate. The CPI report could come in, which could be more positive than the PCE report, which makes people think, oh, the Fed aren't going to increase interest rates, or they're going to leave it as is. And then the actual Fed meeting happens on the 26th, 27th, or 23rd of September, one of the two. And then they actually hike up to 1%, add 1% or 1 percentage point to the current interest rate. And therefore, bang, we have actually a really bad end of the year, which either way could be excellent, right? So either way, if there's a big crash at the beginning of September, I'm gonna DCA. If it loses, doesn't matter, because I'm DCAing at certain price points anyway, and I'll only touch those price points if they're hit, which I think they could be, and then make way for next year and just DCA down if it does go down, or on the other side of the equation, PCE's good, CPI's good. And actually what happens is everything starts going up. And then we wait until quarter one 2023. Either way, I've got a strategy for any outcome. But I'm only going to buy if we hit lows. That's essentially how it is. So let's get back to some more questions. I think there are some super chats. Every single influencer waiting for one more low. So chances are it's not going to happen. You see, it could not happen. It may not happen. But I think that's very unlikely that we see the S&P, we see the financial markets getting shattered and shat on, but not crypto. Could happen because of the ETH merge. I just doubt it. I very much doubt it. I can't see it. So until something tells me definitively that we have bottomed, we are so far from the end. And if you think about it, if we were in a normal cycle, if we did not have the macro picture anyway, we are waiting this long until the next halving. This long. So this whole period would have been a bear market anyway. Regardless of if we hit 100, 200k. This whole period would have been a bear market. And it's very, very rare that this far from a bear market, we are going to hit a bottom. This far from the halving, we're going to hit a bottom. But maybe around about here is where it would likely happen. Around about maybe 16 months before the halving. But it'd be around about here. A year after the big crash. So the big crash happened in November. Just like what happened in 2017. The big crash happened in January. And, the big crash happened in about December for 2017 for Bitcoin. And then the low came in November. So the likelihood is that we're more than likely going to be having our bottoming period happening somewhere around here. All right. So not here, not in August. Come on. That's just ridiculous. There's no way did it happen in June. That makes no bloody sense. Like the June timeline fits in with when Bitcoin hit 6k and then went down to 3k. So that fits in with the timeline of 17.5 being like the 6k, and then the subsequent bottom of 10k, let's say, hypothetically, as being the 3k version, which we haven't yet hit. So I think that's yet to come. So I don't agree that everybody's waiting for a bottom. I actually think that most YouTubers now have pivoted. I think there's only a few. And I've been watching them. I mean, actually, it's quite funny because I was watching Elio Trades the other day, and he actually did my mocking voice, my voice. I thought it was quite funny. So it was funny. It's funny to see that. But Elio Trades, Alex Becker, and Alex Becker's pivoted because he was being very bullish recently. He's pivoted. But most people are actually saying the bottom's in. Raoul Powell's saying it's in. BitBoy's probably saying it's in. Crypto Crew University saying it's in. Crypto Banter seems to be saying it's in. Everybody's saying it's in. The bottom's in. So I don't agree with the logic that says that most people are thinking the bottom's in. No, they're not. Most people think that they're waiting for a new low. I don't think so. I think most people think that the bottom's in. Except for Team Suppo Faithful. So we'll have to wait and see if we're right. Be better. I have no questions. I understand this market. Down we go. Just love for all you do. Thank you, bud. Be better. Thank you very much. I really appreciate your super chat and the love. Thank you very much. I appreciate it a lot. Love goes a long way. Hairbert. Hey, Suppo. How about DeFi yield? Huge VCs. Yada, yada, yada. Yeah. Look, nothing's doing well, okay? Nothing that's new is doing well. So I can give a shit what cryptocurrencies coming out, what VCs they've got. Right, this is bad timing to get into any cryptocurrency. Like, I have actually turned down a lot of what I thought was really good opportunities with good VCs because no, it's just not good timing yet. Okay, and I'm not necessarily sure how long we're going to be in a recession. Like, this is not your typical bear market where you've got, oh look, halving's coming. It's definitely going to go up from that point. We don't know. At this point, we don't know how long this recession is going to last and how brutal it's going to be. Like, if we go back to, let's go to the S&P. If we go back to 2007, it took 7 years to recover. Okay, so look at this, right? So look, let's get a line out. Look at this, right? So the high was hit in October 2007, and it was April 2013 that it was a recovery. Okay, so recessions are bad news. Recessions are not short-term things. Recessions can last a long, long time. So until I feel the market has an approach to bullishness, I'm not going to get into anything. DeFi yield was actually one of the cryptocurrencies I had a chance to get in. But I didn't go for it because I'm not a big fan of DeFi, and B, it's just not right market environment at the moment. And even at the time that I could have gotten to DeFi yield, the market was nowhere near as bad as this. I think Bitcoin was still at 40k back at the time I could have gotten to DeFi yield. So I think that a lot of the VCs that got into it very early before a lot of the shit has happened. So I think they're probably regretting it now. So yeah, don't let VCs be a precursor that something's going to automatically do well. Because I think most VCs were caught out by the big collapse that happened in June. So yeah, so I think that if they could rewind time, they probably would have taken back a lot of decisions. DeFi yield did look interesting though. Airgear47, AK with 20 euros. Super, what do you think about Inu Wars? I am already 6 months in. Project price went down, but looks like team doing their job strongly. Help to understand. Please get out or stay in. Well, I will tell you this much for free. Okay, this is going to be a brutal market environment. Okay, so the smaller, the more unknown the altcoin, the more likely it is that you are going to get absolutely decimated. Fucking hell. 101 volume. 101 volume. I spent more than that buying groceries today. 101 volume. Nah, it's dead. Dead as a doorknob. In fact, I don't think I've ever seen a market cap that low in my life. This is dead as a dodo. It's Binance Smart Chain. Binance Smart Chain. You can mint a coin. You could create a cryptocurrency today. You can create a cryptocurrency within half an hour on Binance Smart Chain. It's that easy. It's like It's like WordPress for cryptocurrencies. All right, it's just so super easy to create a cryptocurrency. This one clearly had no strategy. It's bullshit. It's dead. It's gone. I'm sorry. Do you even have anything left? With 100 volume, you won't even be able to sell. There's no liquidity at all. So I'm sorry to say it, AK. Sorry to say it. Mohammed Habib. Finally, your question. Right, okay. So what are your thoughts on BitGert? I will answer this and then I will tell you what I am going to be buying. BitGert. Don't like it. Hate it. It's B-Rise. This is that blockchain, layer 1, that has shitcoin tokenomics. Nah. Load of crap. Fastest, lowest fee. Why are people wasting their money on this shit? I have no idea. It beggars belief. No reasonable, no exchange with credibility is going to list this. Okay, so KuCoin and Gate, they aren't exchanges I would say have masses of credibility. All right, I would say Binance FTX, Coinbase. They are never going to list this shit. Right, and if they do, well, they're flipping stupid, to be fair, because this is just a complete and utter shitcoin. Yeah, there we are. So, I'm sorry to have to say it, but it is junk. Okay, there's way better, way more. There's way better investments out there. This is a pile of crap. This is a pure degen play. I have no idea how it's doing so well, if I'm honest with you. And I've never liked it, and I've looked a ton of times. Moon Lambo. Question. Hey Superman, if the market didn't come back down, at what price would you phone me back into BTC? I wouldn't. I bought my BTC at prices way lower than where the highest I bought my BTC at was at 17k, but the lowest I bought at was $1,000. So I'm not going to be buying Bitcoin at this price. Fucking stupid. But Bitcoin is, what's happening with Bitcoin is a precursor to what will happen with altcoins. So if Bitcoin goes down, twofold, then altcoins will go down fivefold. So that's what I'm looking for. So when Bitcoin crashes, which I think has got an incredibly high likelihood to, is that altcoins are going to go down. And if Bitcoin doesn't go down and therefore altcoins don't go down, if in the 1% chance that doesn't happen, and it's happening right now, and this is before even September has happened. But if that was the 1% chance that was to happen, then I would just wait for a microcap to get into later on in a bull market. Or I'd do some degen play. But I'm not interested in investing in the long term at highs. I'm not going to chase the highs. I'm just not going to do it. That would be idiotic. So I hope that answers your question, Moon Lambo. You're a fake baby. All right, okay, super. How much have you got in stable coins and crypto ratio in your portfolio? It's too high on the crypto side. I would say it's only 30%, 35% maybe. Now that the values keep going down, then and the stable value stays constant. It was 30%. It was 20%. I would say it's more 35% now. Could be more. Who knows? Right, okay. So I will get back to your question, K-Bon. Should I hold my galactic quadrant or sell outer ring? So I'm holding mine because no point selling at a loss. And if it goes down a loss, it'll just be something that offsets my taxes. So it's all good. So let me get on to the cryptocurrency that I am going to buy, okay, and that I have added to my bear market hit list. So I have added Chronos to my bear market hit list, okay? Now I'm not buying at current prices, so don't get all excited already. But Chronos is the one I'm going to buy, right? So Chronos is essentially a multifaceted mega brand in cryptocurrency. All right, so it's not what it was. It's not just what it was previously, which is a payments ecosystem. All right, so previously, I've been following this cryptocurrency since 2017, since it was Monaco or MCO, right? And it then subsequently became Crypto.com and arguably the big payment brand in cryptocurrency that is everywhere, that sponsored everything: NFL, Formula One, the World Cup, done a Super Bowl ad where they had celebrities. Fortune favors the brave. You know, marketing, they are mega giant. They are mega experts in. Right? Now, they have just been granted an FCA license to operate in the UK. So the UK are looking to be a hub for crypto entrepreneurialism, I suppose. So as it says here, Britain's a global hub for crypto asset technology and investment. That's the stance that the government is taking. And so what's happening is that they are actually, they are going to now be offering UK residents services. All right, so we're going to be able to now get, because I'm in the UK, obviously, I'm going to be able to get a debit card, and I'm going to be able to use that debit card, and I'm going to be able to use these guys potentially as the future crypto bank. All right, so these guys have already got massive presence. Formula One is probably biggest in the UK, I would say. Before Drive to Survive, I think that only the UK really were in behind Formula One, and then, or Europe anyway, and then all of a sudden the US have chimed in, right? So people already in the UK will know of Crypto.com, so this is going to be a recognized brand straight away. And I think this is going to be operating, it's going to have I think it's going to have big presence in the UK in the future, thinking about it. But they're also hiring for ESG. ESG stands for Environmental, Social and Governance. This is a class of asset that is essentially green. All right, so they are looking to not only be a banking service in the UK, but also be amongst the sustainability green assets. Now, the current ESG market, I think, is about $30 trillion. 30 trillion or 30 billion, one of the two. Let me just check that out, because that is quite a... Yeah, billion. Okay, so it's currently 30 billion. It says here, this is data, right? But it's currently a 30 billion market. And they are looking to be a upwards of 50 billion market come 2025. So ESG assets are going to do really, really well. And cryptos that fit within the ESG kind of classification, I think are going to shoot up. They're going to have an extra reason to shoot up. And I think when it comes to the next bull market, everybody's going to be looking for particular fundamentally strong reasons for cryptos to shoot up. So therefore, Chronos, I'm definitely going to be getting into. The adoption rate's huge for Chronos. And they are not just a payment system. All right, they are also a layer 1 blockchain. Okay, so you can actually build dApps on it. They've got the Chronos chain. So that's going to be built for adoption later on down the line. I think if we were not in a bear market, if we had, hypothetically still been in a bull market, I think we would see Chronos chain doing really, really well. I think we'd probably be seeing more of an ecosystem we see right now. But projects will definitely not be launching now, because there's absolutely nothing to be gained. So not much of an ecosystem. But Chronos, I think, have got undoubtedly a pipeline of people that are going to be launching on Chronos chain. There's going to be a launch pad for Chronos. And yeah, so I think as a layer 1 blockchain, again, it's going to do very, very well. And then also it's got the exchange. Okay, so it's also an exchange for you to be able to buy new cryptocurrencies when they list. So it's like Binance. It goes basically into the Binance Coinbase kind of classification of cryptocurrencies. So it's multifaceted. It's payments, it's layer 1, so ecosystem. So anything that is built on Chronos is going to give value to Chronos. And then you've got the exchange element. And like Elrond has got the Maya exchange, Chronos has got their exchange, and that is going to be bringing liquidity into the Chronos ecosystem as well. So basically, I see that Chronos, Crypto.com, which ironically I'm not being sponsored by, even though my American equivalent, Joe Perry's, is being sponsored by Crypto.com. And although the guy from the CEO of Crypto.com does follow me, I'm not sponsored by them. But I am very, very bullish on them. So I'm going to be waiting for Chronos to really, really tank. Okay, so there we are. So Chronos at this present time is 14 cents. It has been 11 cents. It may have been less than that. So let's just have a look and see where it has been. Let's look at the 90-day low. And it hasn't really gone up on that news as well, which goes to show it's got a lot of price suppression happening at the moment. So a lot of the good news has not been released. So where is it? 52-week low, 9 cents. 9 cents it got down to. So I would be looking to get into this at about 3 to 4 cents. I would say 3 to 4 cents. So that would be 5x down from where it is now. And I think that would represent a fantastic time to get into it. So if we went 5x down from where it is now, they essentially would take it under a billion market cap, thus making it a fantastic investment. And I think it's definitely likely to happen, given that a lot of the value has been suckered out of Chronos. So think about it. You know, between the market top, where Chronos hit $1, and where it has gotten to, which is 10 cents, in the space of 7 or 8 months, it's gone down. It's basically lost 9/10 of its value. I don't think it's a lot to expect for it to lose another, 3/4 of its value, and for it to get to my ideal buy price, and that would be the price I get it at. So around about 3 to 4 cents, I would be dollar cost averaging into that. So Chronos, I think, is a super brand. It's a super brand. It is the Bitcoin of its classification, which is payments. It's the Bitcoin of this area. All right. And I just think that this is such early stages for Chronos as well. Very early stages for Chronos. And I think that as we see adoption growing in the cryptocurrency ecosystem, we will see these guys at the forefront of payments. And being a facilitator, crypto to fiat, or vice versa, that kind of brand will do very well. And this is the super brand in that area. So there we are, people. What do you think? I'm going to ask you right now, because we've got 533 in the chat. Alas, isn't that as great as last time? But it's a simple yes, no. How bullish are you bullish on Chronos long term? And if it was to go down to, let's say, 5 cents, would you buy? Yes or no, yes or no. So there we are. And I will also take on more questions, so don't think this is the end of the best. So, K-Bonds, should I hold my galactic quadrant or sell out a rig? So I think I pretty much answered that question. I've kept it because at this point it's not really worth selling. The play to earn ecosystem will come back. So, personally speaking, I'm just going to keep it. Selling it is pointless at this point anyway, for me. Right, let's catch up with the chat. Mo7End. You make a great point. Mo7End. I'm sure there's a better way of saying it. But if I was to go and have a look at my thingy-majiggy, which I don't know where it is. So if I was to go back and have a look in my watch lists, essentially I have got a diversified portfolio mid-risk, I think it is. Is it in there? No, it's not. Okay, maybe it's in the high risk. Yeah, it's in... No, not high risk. What am I talking about? It's in the blue chip. So, FTT is definitely in here. Because I see it having very much a Binance trajectory. Don't think that just because I'm into Chronos that I'm not going to be into FTT. This is just purely on Chronos at this point. It doesn't have to be either or. It could be both. So let's have a look and see what you guys are saying, man. You can't really compare the two, though. You can't say Crow versus FTX, because FTX is not really making leaps and bounds in the payments industry. That's very much ring-fenced by Crypto.com, and they have literally got the best domain in crypto. Like Crypto.com, there's nothing better than that. That is the best. That is the ultimate. There's nothing better than Crypto.com. LMAO, blast from the past. I invested in your recommendation in 2018, learned the hard way, not to listen to crypto YouTubers. Thanks to you, I do not go into NFTs. I didn't even touch NFTs in 2018, so that can't be a recommendation from me. But I appreciate you seeing me as a blast from the past. So, yes, no. It says no, but it's from the same person. So, yes, no, yes. Yes, no. Yes, 100% yes. No, I think Crow will come... No, won't. Yes. Hell yeah. Yes. Basically, it looks like about 80% yes, I would say. I think Crow spent too much on marketing. Well, you've got to speculate to accumulate. You've got to put it out there. Look at Richard Hart. He's all over now. He's all over YouTube and podcasts and things. He's marketing like crazy. And you've got to go big or go home. Go big or go home. That's my personal opinion. Like you said, it's an octopus, said Sparker777. I'm so blast, but I'm so past blast. I remember Sherry of Car Vertical. Well, she wasn't from Car Vertical. She was from Bitcar. Bitcar died. But yeah, but I know what you mean. I actually did an interview with Cherie on, I don't remember exactly when. I think it was the 10th of January 2018, and that was around about the market top. So I shouldn't have been doing that interview. I should have just been at home and selling. But there we are. I didn't do it. Oh, Mohaned's in the house. Good to see you, Mohaned. You love Chronos. Good to hear. And the good thing about Chronos is that if you were looking to buy into it, if you have money in stables that hasn't gone down at the rate that Chronos has, you're buying at a massive profit now, compared to buying it up here. Like, there were so many buyers. There have been 6 to... Okay, so anywhere from January last year to May this year, everybody's bought higher than you. Everybody's bought higher than you. So it's still a great... So for a whole year and 3 months, you have basically... A whole year and 3 months, you've had a ton of people buying it ad nauseum higher than you. But I'd still wait. I think this is going to go down a lot more because, it's not standing out like Ethereum standing out at the moment. Ahmed Ibrahim, what's your take on the new Doge chain fork? I'm glad you asked, Ahmed, because that was the next thing I was going to go on to. So, we have got a new entry into the layer 1 ecosystem, and that is Doge chain. So, Doge chain is basically looking, is kind of positioning itself unofficially as the ecosystem for Doge, right? So Doge is Elon Musk's meme coin baby that there has been no real development going on with for years until Elon Musk revitalized the coin and got apparently a bunch of programmers to be working on it, making it green, etc., etc. Doge chain has apparently been created via Polygon Edge. So Polygon Edge is a way of creating an infrastructure, essentially. It's like a Wix for creating a blockchain. So Doge chain has been born out of that, and this has been the latest degen area. This has been a degen trend and a degen haven. So what has happened in the past week is that Doge chain has gone up something like 3,000x. So it was in the hundreds of thousands, literally about 5 or 6 days ago, and now it is worth 19 million. And via Doge Swap, which is the DEX that handles these new Doge ecosystem coins, we are seeing tons and tons of these meme plays. I don't know, I think one was Doge Shiba, one was Dodo, and they have made massive multipliers. So I would keep an eye out on Doge chain. Do your research into it. All right? Because they are, at this present time, just having a load of degen launches. So look into it. Join the community. Look and see what they are doing. Because they have just reached 1 million transactions on the Doge chain. So I would, look into it if you are a fan of degen plays. Because they are looking to bring out cryptocurrencies in all sorts of different areas. And they are looking to... So Doge chain is a newly launched blockchain platform that lets users bridge over Dogecoin and use it for DeFi, NFTs, and more. All right, so they are in themselves trying to create a kind of ecosystem. There's been a ton of Doge plays in the past week that I have not gotten into because it's not my thing to do degen plays this risky. But if I was to get into something really, really early and have a kind of inside track on it, I probably would get into that. But yes, Doge chain, it's a degen play. Doge is pretty boring as an asset because nothing's really happening with it. But the other day it had a massive spike in price. It's now on the come down. The other day it had a massive spike in price, just like Shiba Inu did. And the reason why is because of Doge chain. So Doge chain is the new kid on the block. So I would recommend you look into it. It's quite interesting. Another website I want to bring you, which I'll probably chat more about in another stream, is this one. And this is Coinfairvalue.com. This is very interesting, okay? So what this website does is it uses some form of analysis. I haven't gone into it in a massive amount of detail. But essentially what they are doing is they are looking at the usage of the blockchain of most cryptocurrencies and coming up with a fair value. So if it's a highly utilized blockchain, used for multiple transactions, the coin addresses are active, they're growing, then it's given a fair value versus the price. And it looks very, very interesting. Okay, so what we can see here is that Bitcoin currently is 23,300 and the fair value price based on tagged transactions, etc., and the fundamental strength is that it's actually worth 43,000. So I was looking at this and thinking, oh, I wonder what's undervalued, what's overvalued. So we can see that Solana is $77 at fair value, which is an average of the best at 145 and worst 41, and is currently sitting at $40. So this is pretty interesting. Dogecoin also, that's double where it currently is, and Cardano is about where it is. So it's very interesting, the results. So yeah, and Chronos is actually higher than it should be as fair value. And where's Hex? Hex is also higher than where it should be according to this website. This should be around about 4.3 cents. So I'm going to be using this, I think, more over the course of time. But it looks very, very interesting. Right, let's see what you guys are saying then. Let's see if you guys have any more questions. How long have I been online? Let's be honest, how long have I been? Wait, hold on. 56 minutes. Not bad. Not bad. Right, okay, so let's see what you guys are saying and see if there's any super chats. Doesn't look like there is. Bear with me a second. Let me just get my what's it called up? And the stream. I am funny, aren't I? Occasionally, when I try. YouTube Studio. Alright, here we go. Video analytics. Oh, shite. Okay, forget that. Right, okay, let's carry on then. Let's carry on with more questions. See what you guys are saying. I'll look at it on my phone because it's probably a little bit easier. Do you visualize Aave in the top 10 cryptos during the next bull run? I'm not sure about top 10. All right, so let's have a look and see where Aave is right now. It's 43. So I would say that competition for the top 10 is going to be tougher than ever. Okay, we are long gone, are we, from the 2013 days of like having Namecoin and Feathercoin and Peercoin and shitcoins like that in the top 10. Now we have actually got a real blue chip industry in crypto. All right, so we have now got some hard to depose, fundamentally incredible cryptocurrencies. That's going to be really difficult to depose them. But Aave, I do see as being essentially the blue chip DeFi play. You know, we've certainly seen a lot of cryptocurrencies in the DeFi ecosystem essentially plummet and die. All right, and Celsius, you know, being one of them. I was going to say something else, but I won't. And Aave, I think all this drama has actually made Aave look pretty good as a decentralized protocol in this area. That's permissionless, that's trustless, that all of this less. And yeah, I think has a very good chance of mooning once again back into the thousands. Okay, I can see that happening in the future. So yeah, I think that where we're at is a low market cap with Aave. I think it's going to do really well, but I would wait for this to go down to about $30, $40, which I think again is going to happen. You know, if we see the market, if we see Bitcoin go down half, we'll see altcoins going down ×3. But Aave is very good. Aave is exceptional, and I made the mistake. So let me just have a look. Suppoman Flend. Images. No, it's not there. No, it's not there. There was a picture of me with the founder of Flend at Consensus many years ago, and back in January 2018, I said Flend was a pile of shit when it was 1 cent. All right, so I have been well and truly shut up by the CEO of Flend, because then Flend became Aave, and Aave became the key player in DeFi. Phantom long-term price target. I think that we could be seeing Phantom at $15. Yeah, I think we could see it at $15 quite easily. But probably not in one bull cycle. I think that we are seeing that. I personally believe that it's going to be a crippling economy for the midterm, and I think that it's going to take a while, because I think that we're going to see prices rolled back quite a lot. And we're going to probably see that the highs that we saw in the euphoria stage in the last bull market will be aspirational for the next bull market, and may not be achievable in most cases. So I would say that Phantom, I'd say could reach $15, but I think it could take a while to achieve that. But I'm holding on to the Phantom I do have until that point. Do you think Shiba Inu is a blue chip for the next 5 years? In a biased way, yeah, I do think so. Okay, so I think that Shiba. I mean, look at it. I have predicted a lot of its growth. I obviously missed the first run up, which I was made to regret, and subsequently bought it, and it has subsequently made me a lot of money. And I think that this ecosystem is here to stay. It's like Doge. It's like Doge and Shiba is basically Bitcoin and Ethereum. Bitcoin is clunky, does very little, but it does one thing very well. It's a store of value. Ethereum is now a store of value and a technological software platform and various other things. And, be able to raise funds and all that kind of thing. DeFi, NFTs, basically is multifaceted compared to Bitcoin. And I think that Shiba and Doge are the same thing. So Doge is basically Bitcoin. Pretty boring, pretty shit. But Elon Musk has adopted it. So therefore, it's kind of like an increasing store of value. Whereas Shiba, I think, is the better play, the technological play. One that's probably got the biggest gainers ahead of it. And it's going to flip, if it hasn't already. I don't think it has. It's going to flip Doge and be the king of coins. I would not be surprised if, with the Shibarium coming out, which is basically the layer 2, that sits on top of the ETH chain, that's going to help for Shiba to potentially be a micropayments platform. I personally enjoy paying people in Shiba Inu. Like, people love receiving Shiba Inu. Like, you're paying someone $50 and it's like millions of Shiba Inu. Like, it's got a real feel-good factor to it. So, no, I love it. Are we done for questions? I think. Let me have a look. How are we doing for timings? Bear with. I think we're just over an hour now. Hour and 3, yeah. Just over an hour and 3. So I'll take 3 more questions. I'll try and pick the best. Radio Kaka next 1000X? No, definitely not. Do you think Origin OGN? Is that Origin Trail? Origin Protocol? I don't really know much about it. It doesn't look dead to me. But it's certainly gone down 50% in value. Let me have a look at it. Nothing to mainstream. Over the bear market, there's going to be way more services offered. This looks shit. Okay, so I'm surprised it's got as much volume as it's got. Doesn't look like it's particularly innovative in this area. And volume, sometimes take it with a pinch of salt. Sometimes it's completely just market makers making it look artificially fantastic. Self-frame, you sexy bastard. Right, okay, let's have a look at self-frame. I have a quickie gander at Cellframe. What's to be said? I mean, Cellframe, it's got a community over the course of time. It will probably be like pretty masked. People probably won't really notice it. I covered it last year. It'll probably keep growing. Who knows? But to me, I'm out of it. You know, I think something that's good about it. Oh, actually, there was one thing I forgot to mention about Chronos. So if you are one of the people that are still here, then haha to the other 40 that left after hearing the coin. So the other thing I like about Chronos and why I like this for the future is because this has got a mere 2% inflation rate, which is very, very low compared to pretty much most of the major blockchains. So Solana, Avalanche, and all that lot. I mean, Avalanche's got an incredibly high inflation rate. Solana's is 7%. And the standard is about 5 to 6%. 5 to 7%, I'd say, is the standard. Chronos has a mere 2%, and they had 70% of their supply burnt. So that means they are now left with only 17% more supply to come out via inflation. And then it will reach its supply cap, and therefore won't grow anymore. Right? So this has either low inflation to no inflation as the future. Therefore meaning that this should have good appreciation. Because ETH's inflation rate was always about 4%. So this is half of that. This is half of ETH, and it's got a fixed supply, unlike ETH previous to the merge detail. So therefore, Chronos has even better fundamental strength. Not only is it fundamentally sound, not only is it now penetrating the UK, which it undoubtedly will penetrate Europe and the US and all sorts, because that's what payment systems do. They look to dominate in one particular area, and if they are niche and are market leaders in that area, then they are likely to be the first movers in other countries as well. So they already started penetrating the UK, and they have got fantastic tokenomics. Now, the tokenomics are what can help propel this. So again, I think very, very strong. So all you guys that stuck around, I'm glad you were here to listen to that, because that was one of the key reasons why I've chosen Chronos onto my list. So Cellframe. So going back to Cellframe, it looks as if they are relatively close to their max supply. So that could actually bode well. They're only 6% away. They diluted it a lot to the detriment of the hodlers back from last year. So they burnt a lot of the community. The community, therefore, left a lot of them left Cellframe, because I remember kind of being one of them. And they've got the tokenomics could actually help them survive. Let me just make sure Cellframe. I'll look into it. I won't. Limited annual issue. Let me just see if it's uncapped. Can't really tell. Uncapped, unlimited supply. No. Let me just put supply. No, nothing. Nothing. It doesn't say anything. Yeah, it doesn't say anything. I don't think. It looks like it does have a max supply. So, yeah. But without adoption, there's nothing. Okay, you can have good tokenomics, but if it's got no adoption, then it's too much of a risk. I personally wouldn't touch it. Right, I'll take one more question. What do you think about the game Decimated? I remember looking at that once. And it looked pretty good. But that volume absolutely sucks. But I remember this looked pretty good. Online World, Unreal Engine. We're not in Play to Earn season, not even close to it, so it wouldn't surprise me that it is how it is. Yeah, it looks pretty cool. It looks a lot like Crypto Citizen, actually. And that also is pretty good. But this looks like it's... What is this, like Call of Duty or something? yeah, wait to see how these go. I mean, if I'm brutally honest, my personal play would be something more like Gala, which I would hope would go down. But look at that volume, so strong, so strong. Right, I think that's it. I think that is it. Yeah, Decimate on Solana. I remember somebody anyway, putting that my way. So people, thank you very much for joining me for another stream. Essentially, I believe that the crypto market is in a make or break scenario. I think that we are almost certainly going to go down because we're in a ascending wedge in a falling market, which normally means continuation, which means the market should fall. Should fall at some dexterity. And depending on how bad the closest near-term events are, so we have got the PCE figures, Mt. Gox, the CPI figures, and then we got Fed interest rate. All of those in the next month and a bit. It could be a potentially stomach-churning experience for the crypto sector. But this could be also a very good opportunity to dollar cost average in and make a potential win. I still think that the absolute key asset at the moment is Ethereum. And if I was going to be hoping for anything to crash to then DCA into, it would be Ethereum. So hopefully there will be a capitulation of Ethereum. Miners take it down. I'll be able to get into that. Probably get into some Ethereum Classic as well. So I think we got a good, we got a nice little landscape that we can play some games with. But ultimately, for the big long-term plays, I am going to be making my moves, I dare say, in first half or probably first few months of quarter or 2023. Quarter 1, 2023. Anyway, people, I love you all. I appreciated you being here. And I will see you next time. You have been amazing. It is lights out, all out.